Am I getting it?
This whole situation started with me calling out Tiffany Haddish and Godfrey, where they discussed their pride for being African.
Okay.
I'm trying to get that.
Yeah, you got the
Tiffany!
So cool to have you here at 154.
So great.
Now, you did with some inside stuff. You was like, Haddish. Is it Haddish or Haddish?
It depends on where you're from, who you are.
Okay, so Eritreans would say
Haddish.
Haddish. Oh,
that's right.
That sounds real, like sexy, like Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish and Godfrey just proved the FBA point. The entire podcast was full of them expressing pride in who they are ethnically. But then when we say, well, we're Black Americans, and whether people say ADOS or FBA or Sulan or whatever people claim, Native, Indigenous, whatever people claim, right? Why is that a problem? But it's not a problem for Africans, be it from the East or the West or the North or the South, or Caribbeans for that matter, or Caribbeans. Why is it okay for them? In fact, it's something that's celebrated for them to embrace their heritage, but when we embrace our heritage exclusively, now that's a problem. I don't get it. The same people that are quick to say, me no black cannot accept us saying we Black American. So I put that video out in a long form video. Then I put out a short form video.
Because I knew her as Tiffany Haddish. I've known you for a long time.
A long time.
I'm Tiffany Haddish, and I never really thought it's not a Jackson, it's not a Smith, it's not a Jenkins, it's not a McCaffrey. I never thought about it. And then when she brought it up, I said, God, that makes sense now.
But yeah, I try to keep it simple. Just keep it simple. Don't be too complicated with people. Just let them get to know the basics.
Yeah, I'm Godfrey because they would screw up Dan Chima.
Yeah. Tiffany said she didn't tell people that she was Eritrean because she wanted to keep it simple. Why not let people know that you're African? Your dad is whole West African. Oh, that right there got him, man. Me saying West African instead of East African, fam, I mean, I gotta tell y'all, that's one of the best things I ever did for engagement. And that's what Wendell Pierce inserted himself in. I didn't tag Wendell Pierce. I don't talk to him like that. He don't follow me. I don't follow him. He says, let's make this bigger. Eritrea is not West Africa. It's not West Africa. It's in East Africa. That grammar there is kind of jacked up. But, hey, then Marc Lamont Hill, he responded. And he said this, Eritrea is not in West Africa. This kind of makes her point. No. I was like, nah, that don't make a point. My point was not where the country's located. The name of the video is not Eritrea is in West Africa. The name of the video is, why didn't Tiffany tell people she was African or Eritrean? That was the name of the video. It has nothing to do with which, if it's South or East or North or West, has to do with, I believe that Tiffany Haddish wasn't telling people she was African for a reason that advanced her career. Or one of the main points in my video was, many Africans benefit from the association with Black Americans. Very rarely is that the other way around. They benefit from us, and they use us and assimilate with us to get their paper right. The end. And instead of Marc Lamont Hill, a professor, kind of admitting, yeah, there's some advantages. And look, he didn't have to admit nothing. He could have just been quiet. Wendell Pierce could have just been quiet. No one asked them. They weren't on a panel and they were asked a question. They jumped out there in defense of Tiffany Haddish. In a basic question like, hey, why didn't you tell people that you was African? Why didn't you tell people your dad was African? Now we find out she's a citizen now of the country. Now we find out she's building shit in the country. All these things she says she's doing in that podcast that I recommended people go check out because it was an informative, interesting podcast. But why the secrecy? And if you say it wasn't a secret, she didn't tell Godfrey for a long time. Godfrey just sat there and said he knew it for 20 years, and she didn't tell him like that.
For a long time.
A long time.
Over 2 decades.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm Tiffany Haddish. And I never really thought, it's not a Jackson, it's not a Smith, it's not a Jenkins, it's not a McCaffrey, it's not a whatever. I never thought about it. And then when she brought it up, I said, God, that makes sense now.
But yeah, I try to keep it simple for people.
Right, of course.
Just try to keep it simple. Especially back then, I was just like, just keep it simple. Don't be too complicated with people. Just let them get to know the basics.
Yes.
Right.
And then, then you open up for them.
See, the defenders of anything Democratic Party related, we're gonna get to the tentacles of the relation to the Democrats in a minute. I got receipts for that too. But their job, once again, is to defend the black Democratic Party elites. Their job is to defend the black Democratic Party elites and the Democratic Party from us poor black folks, us working class black folks. In any criticism of the party or of these people, they come out the woodwork. Even if it's Tiffany Haddish. My initial response was this. No, you and Wendell need to stop calling. She's a minstrel show. Marc Lamont Hill and Wendell Pierce both responded to my Tiffany Haddish video. Neither addressed the Hollywood stereotypes or Cat Williams' 2018 warnings or why she said she kept it simple. I said both of them came at me about my geography. They got nothing, so they nitpick. We're not falling for it anymore. So I kept it cordial, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to make a post. I didn't tag either one of these guys, just made a post and I said, hey, notice this. Notice they didn't address anything was in my video. They talking about other shit. They making it about geography. What to do? Now, why would they do that? Why would they take a conversation that had its own merit and you could disagree with it? And say what they wanted to do is they try to make me out to be an idiot. I'm too dumb to talk to. I don't even know where Eritrea is. So therefore, why should you have a conversation with me, even though we know, as I stated, that ain't the premise of the video. That's not the purpose of why we were having a conversation to begin with. But they chose to do that because, well, this is what they do. If it was just about them two, I could just walk this off. I mean, Marc Lamont Hill, he ended up promoting my video for me, as did Wendell. Great. I wish they would have did that for the YouTube video. That would have been something. This is a pattern. They're just the latest. There are many other Democrats who do the same thing. And what do they do? They defend the Democratic Party establishment. They beat down black Americans who may have different opinions. They fearmonger, they shame, they deny you to have an independent thought in your damn head. Their job is to follow the playbook. And what does the playbook say? It says, shut down them working class black folks, shut down any black people that dissent. Your job is to corral the blacks, defend the black elites. One of the primary defenders of the Guard, of the Night's Watch for the Democratic Party would be Tiffany Cross.
32 people died in ICE custody last year, making it the deadliest year in more than 2 decades.
Every year we estimate about 6,000 U.S. American citizens die in prison. We're not even sure if that number is correct. That is a baseline number. It could be more. It could be some years as much as 10,000. Because unlike undocumented immigrants, ain't nobody really checking for American citizens and what happened to them.
32 people died in ICE custody last year, making it the deadliest year in more than 2 decades. So where is the self-described pro-life party?
As a Haitian American, I'm outraged and I'm disgusted.
In Georgia, they have a problem with their prisons. In Georgia state prisons, approximately 295 to 301 deaths in Georgia prisons last year for U.S. citizens. 10 times as many U.S. citizens died in prison in Georgia, then died all over the country in migrant facilities. Roland and Tiffany Cross and other Democrats grabbing at your heartstrings, trying to manipulate you, trying to gaslight the shit out of you over 32 migrants who died in custody in ICE facilities. And that's bad. But in Georgia alone, 300 U.S. citizens died too. She set a frame where everybody should be outraged about 32 deaths of undocumented people in ICE detention as they await to be deported. But in her own state of Georgia, 10 times more American citizens died in prison in 2025. And she didn't have anything to say. Roland Martin. Oh, we all know Roland Martin is a gaslighter extraordinaire. Yes, he's running the Democratic Party playbook too. He does a segment every couple of weeks going after people that he is 10 and 20 times bigger than. Why else would you do that if it's not a directive of the Democratic Party?
All y'all can kiss my ass because you're actually anti-black. Because you don't defend black people. You don't stand up for black people. You don't invite the black folks on your shows. But what you do is you criticize other black people who stand up for black folks. And y'all use your little silly ass cover of you walk dancing for the Democrats. Oh, you a shield. No.
If you dig down deep into what Roland does, you'll find that most of what he does is defend the Democratic Party. He fights for the Democratic Party. He don't fight for black Americans. He fights for Democratic Party interest. They ain't the same thing. And in this segment, what we just highlighted, what was he doing? He was going after new black media. Anybody with a black media channel that's not with the Democratic Party. Roland Martin, he's supposed to fight the Democratic Party on behalf of black people. But what Roland does is he fights black people on behalf of the Democratic Party. But the through line is Democratic Party playbook, Democratic Party interests above black Americans, even when it's coming out the mouths of black faces. Roland actually says if you don't defend Kamala, you don't defend her, you're anti-black. If you don't roll with Democrat elites who are black, you are anti-black. But I'm rolling against their bullshit because I'm pro-black. Rich people do not need Tim Black's help. They don't need my protection. They don't need my voice. They can pay Roland. Rich people can pay for their own advocacy. I believe that if you are siding with the Democratic Party over black Americans, you're anti-black. I believe the Democratic Party is a white party run by white folks for capitalistic reasons. That's the Democratic Party. This idea that the Democratic Party is a black party because it got Roland in it. It's crazy. Because Maxine Waters and Jim Clyburn are in it. That don't make no damn sense. Let's move on to Al Sharpton. Al's recent non-action network had an event, the 35th, I think it was. A young man came on his panel and he voiced his opinion and Al didn't like it.
So if you want our vote, you got to come with our paper. We're not scared of Trump. We're not scared of anybody. Biden is a racist. Trump is a racist. Kamala is a racist. And if you don't have our money, you don't get our vote.
Yeah, man, I love this, fam.
And you know that they paid agents. And if you're in the room, if you don't like me saying that, I'll say it again. Because you cannot get reparations without putting people in office that's going to pay them. So talk that ignorance somewhere else. So either you paid or you stupid or both.
Al Sharpton, is that up to you? It's your job to say, this is what the people want. Al Sharpton should not be dictating to us what can be done by the Democrats. His job is to advocate. He ain't a politician. Or is he? Why is he not just carrying off the demands of the black Americans back to the people he worked for, back to the people he have leverage with? Isn't that his job? See, advocates are supposed to go fight for your interests. They're not there to tell you what can't be done. That's what the Democrats do. The Democrats may or may not send out a spokesperson that sit down with you and tries to nicely to tell you to shut the hell up and get off their lawn, and there's nothing they can do. Now, once they tell us to get off their lawn and there's nothing they can do for us, then we get to make a decision. Do we F with you or not? How do we respond to that? And that's when we boycott, act up, ignite, activate, whatever we do, grab the couch cushion, whatever we do, barbecue, tenderism, whatever we want to do at that point, we strategically decide to do. But see, Al is shortcutting the whole process because Al is not an advocate. He's taking all them people money for 30 years as if he's advocating for black people. But all he really doing, what his day job is to run interference for the Democratic Party, carry out their agendas without questioning them, and then shut up, get back in the clown car. Imagine, an activist comes to your organization, he comes to your event, he grabs a mic and he voices his issue, his cause. He's there promoting something for black Americans. He's not there to say, give me money, Al, you do something for me, Al. I need you to do this for me. No, he's talking about black Americans. And what does he get for it? He gets Al calling him an agent. No, that's advocate, Al. He's advocating. He's doing what you should be doing, which is advocating for black Americans instead of gatekeeping for the Democrats. A primary attribute of D.L. Hughley is defending the party by fear-mongering.
The truth of the matter is both parties have their flaws. There's no debate about that. Mm-hmm. One is literally trying to erase the other part. One don't want any blacks, browns, Asians, nobody. They just want a straight white thing. That ain't got nothing to do with it. And one is threatening to blow up the world. You had the president of the United States of America.
DL's so busy with talking points, he didn't know what talking point to get out. He couldn't get out all the talking points he had memorized to say. He didn't know which way to go. He just know he was going to demonize anything that's not Democratic Party related. I mean, he started off fine. He said, hey, both parties have flaws. That's unquestionable. But let me tell you about these Republican flaws. See, these Republican flaws are just all the flaws you need to focus on because this is hell. And Republicans and Trump, oh my God, Trump is Hitler. He's trying to end the world. He's trying to kill everybody. Trump. Now, DL, this is particularly bad for him because he's a comedian. Or at least he used to be. He ain't been funny in a long time. D.L. Hughley, it's like he doesn't know how to roast the Democrats. If you're a comedian and you're at a roast, you need to roast the attending. The Democratic Party is an attending party that requires your roasting abilities. His primary objective is obvious. It is to run the Democratic plays. The playbook, push back on any dissenting voices, defend Democrats, the elites. It ain't even the working class Democrats. We got Democrats that are damn good people. They just don't have the information. And some, they have information. They just feel like Republicans are so much more dangerous. I was going to stay over here with these Democrats. They corrupt too, but what you going to do? They sort of apathetic. You know, they're like, Our job is to encourage them, inform them, and activate them to become more independent so we can have demands of the Democratic Party. But if you just keep going with them without demands, then we have no leverage at all. You look like a beggar, and nobody's got to pay a beggar more than they feel like paying them. And the Democrats have been paying us nothing. To the point now, they say, well, we ain't got to pay the blacks. Let's just go over here and pay these immigrants. Let's pay the immigrants and the LGBTQ because they're the ones with demands. We got blacks by default. Y'all stop talking about it. I know y'all talking about it. Y'all cut it out. The funniest thing about Jemele Hill with her Democratic Party playbook following is that she's a sportscaster. And she knows there are teams that lose and teams that win.
There are Latinos who feel like they did it the right way. And because they did it the right way, they're trying to pull up the ladder for everybody else and say, hey.
Who is everybody else? If I was a Latino person, like, who am I putting a ladder up for everybody else? Why is this black woman with this blonde hair telling me don't put a ladder up on? Who am I putting a ladder up on? Latinos don't run America. But see, her whole point is Jasmine Crockett didn't get elected. That's what she said. That's the whole point of her segment. Her segment was, are Latinos to blame for Jasmine Crockett's loss? As if it is a given or whatever that the Democrats should win. Nah, voters get to choose who wins. Right? That's what voters do. Let me see if I can stick the landing on this. Latinos don't play for Jasmine Crockett. They're not on the team together. So from a sports perspective, a sportscast perspective, you can't be like, I'm going to blame them for Jasmine Crockett not winning. Jasmine Crockett played against Tallarico, whether you like Tallarico or not. Her team are the staff that she hired to work on her campaign. My understanding is she didn't really have one. She didn't really have a ground game nor a campaign going. Okay? The team that you blame, the people that you blame for her loss are, first of all, her and the people that work for her. And whoever gave her that horrible advice that she took. Because at the end of the day, she the coach. You don't go blame people in the stands who didn't want to buy a ticket, right? You don't go blame people that didn't want to watch it on their pay-per-view. You blame the team for losing because they're the ones in control of their loss. And as a sportscaster, we know Jemele Hill knows this, but she's now a shield, and she running the Democratic Party playbook.
Yeah, we did it the right way. We did it the way that, because what they're really saying is we did it the way the white people told us to do it. And because we did it, we want our gold star.
Jasmine Crockett, I know she's still in Congress, still got a job. And then she says it, and she says she's a whole lawyer, right? And so I figured I'd go ahead and include her while we still can. Here she is running plays for the Democrats.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated, because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers.
Yeah, I never trust anyone who has a picture of themselves in their live stream. I mean, having good self-esteem is important. But damn, do you need two of you in your live stream? I'm just saying, just seems narcissistic. USC Code 1325 says illegal entry is a federal crime punishable by up to 6 months in prison for the first offense. So the first one can get you 6 months. The second one can get you up to 2 years if it's not a criminal act. Why is it written into the criminal code? And if she was telling the truth, why is it that the Department of Justice prosecutes thousands of such crimes every year? You got Jasmine Crockett, a member of Congress, misstating federal criminal law. And why she do it? The Democratic Party playbook consists of a number of things. And the main thing is to defend the Democratic Party interest. I said, Dan, why is everybody fighting for Tiffany Haddish? She's like a horrible representative of black women on the national stage. Then I saw this and it kind of made sense. Tiffany Haddish, May 31st, 2026. She will be attending and one of the speakers at this event, the Stand Up for Climate and Democracy event. It's in Los Angeles. It's with Patton Oswalt. And who's that other person? Jane Fonda? The Climate Pack. Not only is Tiffany Haddish back, and her comedy, she's touring right now, not only that, but she's also doing Democratic operative things. Maybe that's the reason why Wendell Pierce and Marc Lamont Hill decided to jump out and become a part of the conversation without addressing any of the issues that I brought up. So basically, they operate in bad faith. Then they want to diminish my position, make assertions about my intelligence level, all for what? When I point out the hypocrisy, when I point out the disgusting nature of her comedic tics, her relentless going back and back and back and back to the most degrading stereotypes and tropes about black women for a laugh. And then when I see that she actually Eritrean. And she's totally embracing that. Well, now it looks really funky because if a white woman said the shit that Tiffany Haddish been saying, I mean, she showed up on a red carpet with a bag of chicken. And every other time she's talking about what people can do with her and what she's willing to do to random white celebrity men. It wasn't only Brad Pitt she talked about wanting to go to bed with or sleep with or whatever. It was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Didn't you try to f Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, I'm still working on that. I think
Why are you not getting that done? Why can't you get that done?
When I first met him, I told him, I want to.
In Henry Cavill. Henry played Superman, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I'm ovulating right now. Don't play.
Are you really? How can you?
I wouldn't mind getting pregnant by a doctor.
Do I leave the mustache on or off?
You can leave that mustache on, baby. We can Velcro. You know what I'm saying?
It looks like.
First of all, I'm getting tired of you giving me fake phone numbers, man.
No. I got a new one.
No. You give me your number.
No,
I call. It's somebody speaking Spanish.
Oh, shit.
Somebody speaking French.
I'm so sorry.
I know. Look, you don't want to talk to me?
No.
This guy, him too, huh? Is there a white guy she ain't claiming she sleep with?
The break that she got. And to see her do her thing.
She passed 46 female black comedians that I know personally that I put on tour who have a hard time getting a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A after they headline 7 shows at a club for $2,500 a week.
But people like real, and that's why they like her.
Is that what they like?
They love real.
Oh, because everybody's real then. So don't trip. No. When did that become marketable? Knock it off. They like her because she want to sleep with a white man. That's why the only thing she said was, I want to give it to Brad Pitt. The only thing before that in the movie with me is I slept with this white man and I got a white baby. She had a white husband for the 14 years she been doing comedy, and then all of a sudden divorced him, then said he abused her, then wrote a book, then said he didn't, and then now we're at Brad Pitt. So
you get a certain license as a black person. Isn't that why they complain about Chappelle? They keep saying, especially you, Marc Lamont Hill, you keep complaining that Dave Chappelle talks about trans people, but he's not trans, so that makes it a problem. My rebuttal to that is, most of the things he's saying is creative. He's not relying on tropes. He's just being creative with his storylines. He's making jokes. Tiffany doesn't make jokes. Like Cat Williams says, we can't remember a Tiffany Haddish joke. What she does is act out and demonstrate while wearing a black American suit all of the worst tropes and stereotypes about black women. Marc Lamont Hill, you're a smart guy. I know you understand where I'm going with this. I know you see the relevance and the logic behind it. The Democratic Party relies on us staying contained by celebrities. And for us as a group, if we're going to excel, we're going to wake up other black Americans, we got to be willing to go after sacred cows. We got to be willing to go after elite folks. And when I say go after them, I don't mean smear them. I'm not saying we got to drag people or harass them. My thing is to just wake people up, give them something else to think about, and let them make their own decisions about what they want to represent and support. Stop fighting us for black Democratic Party elites. Stop fighting against black Americans for the interests of the Democratic Party. Fight for us against the Democratic Party. Fight to get our interest implemented in the Democratic Party. That should be your job. That's what friends are for. All right, guys, that's it. My name is Tim Black. Thank y'all for tuning in to this special broadcast.
Catch Tim Black live on the most dangerous show in America, Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Don't miss out on the real. Stay dangerous.